I'm Senator Ted Gaines from California, and I'm very excited to be here in Austin, Texas. And we're here to invite jobs from Texas to California. We are a state of innovators and entrepreneurs and job creators. And I'm going to be heading the charge in the state of California on a bipartisan basis to do so. We've started with the Gigafactory. We're working very hard to capture the Gigafactory in California, 6,500 jobs. And we think it ought to stay in California. And I know the governor feels otherwise, but we've come to discover we couldn't find even a Tesla here in Austin or other parts of Texas. You can't even buy a Tesla here in Texas legally. And so what we've had to do here is get actually a cutout of a Tesla vehicle that so we could at least show the image of the vehicle and the opportunity that exists for California job creation. There are huge opportunities. We look at even San Francisco. Uber is a new company that's transforming the taxi service, not just in California, not just in the nation, but worldwide. These are job creators. We had GoPro just go public a couple of days ago, a fantastic waterproof, very durable camera that can be used for just about anything. And that's not unusual for California. So I'm working on a bipartisan basis in terms of legislation to provide the proper tax credits and anything that is necessary to make sure that the Gigafactory lands in California. The job then, the next step is a broader one in regulatory reform in California. So we make it easier not just for Tesla, but for small businesses and existing businesses in California.
Senator, is this a little tit for tat to Governor Perry for his drive-by at the California Capitol a couple of weeks ago, and now you're doing a little bit?
Well, let's put it this way. I believe in friendly competition, and he came to our capital city of Sacramento and wanted to capture Tesla's Gigafactory from us, and I'm fighting back. And I consider that friendly competition, but we've got to make sure that we're creating middle-class jobs in California. That has been a challenge for us. We have a high poverty rate, and we've got a shrinking middle class. And I would not say that that's true just in California, but nationally. And so we've got to do everything we can to make sure that our manufacturing base is remaining in California and, quite frankly, nationally.
Senator, folks in California heard Governor Perry's pitch to bring businesses to Texas. What is the pitch to bring businesses to California as opposed to Texas?
Well, the pitch is that we are a very diverse community, and we welcome everybody to California, and that we are a state of innovation, of entrepreneurs, of people that have an idea, that people that want to grow a business. Now what we have to do is sustain that on the manufacturing side. So I'm working hard on that front to make sure that when the creators create a product, they can actually manufacture it in California.
About regulatory reform, do you mean y'all are going to be pursuing regulatory reform in the future to attract more businesses?
Yeah, it's actually on two fronts. We have a piece of legislation I'm working with Senator Steinberg on a bipartisan basis, 1309, and that would be a package of regulation reform, tax credits, everything's on the table, quite frankly, to make sure that we land the Gigafactory. And then secondly, I'm going to follow up with legislation that's broader, that would affect all businesses in the state of California in terms of regulatory reform. We ought to be looking at tax reform. I must tell you, though, that the governor is working on additional tax credits. We have hundreds of millions of dollars of tax credits that are coming into effect that will help us in this effort.
Have you had any interest from any Texas companies about possibly looking into relocating to California?
Well, what we're doing is we're going to have some meetings. So we're going to meet with the NFIB and the Texas Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to start by just saying, hey, we're open for business. We'd love to have any of your existing businesses expand into California. And just want to kind of open the welcome mat for that opportunity.
What kind of response do you expect to get from Texas businesses?
Well, I think they realize that it's a huge market. We've got 38 million people in California. We've got an incredible education system. We are the innovators, I think, of the nation and, quite frankly, the world in many areas. And so I think there's a collaborative opportunity for Texans to start businesses in California.
We see companies like Toyota moving from California to Texas, and there's at least right or wrong, there's a perception here that the business climate is much better here in Texas than California. How do you change that? How do you plan to change that when businesses, maybe small businesses, see places like Toyota moving
Right.
to plant?
Right, and that's why I'm here. So we're here to break the mold. We're here to work on regulatory reform. We're working on a bipartisan basis. I'm going to advocate. I will be the job creation advocate for the state of California. I'll take it back to my Democrat colleagues. I'll take it back to the governor. We'll do whatever we can, but we're not going to break the level of poverty that we have in the state of California unless we create jobs. And so that is the pathway, along with a good education, for success and prosperity. Everybody wants to live the California dream or the American dream, and that is to be able to raise a family and buy a home and enjoy our lives.